yo sé.
¿Estás seguro?
Sorry. Lo siento. Vale. Yo sé que puedo ser muy crítico, hey, crítico sin razón,
Ujú.
pero yo quiero dar una oportunidad
Ujú.
a explicar San Fermín.
Vemos el primer día de encierros y luego empezamos a hablar sobre las cosas. Vamos a ver el primer día de encierro, ¿vale? Always leave from that cuadra. That
Wait, so where the people? Hold
the
up,
people is waiting.
hold up. So you mean to tell me y'all get a head start?
Of course.
Y'all need a head start?
Yes, of course, but they're waiting for them. There is not necessarily a head start. You're just giving the bulls space so they can start.
Building up motion?
Yes.
Yeah, I just want a head start.
No, there are people waiting. They're not running already. Espera, que tienes un pelo.
They're running with you. So as soon as you open the gate, you take off. You could be
No,
right.
they're still there waiting.
I seen the door opens and they circle and then they head out. They start running right there. So why don't you just line up there and then start running with them when that door opens? Don't be way up the block.
Qué valiente que eres.
If you're gonna do it right.
Seriously.
Go ahead, continue.
Mira, mira.
Oof.
Ay.
Oof. Mira, oof bad. See, oof bad.
Continue.
What happens if a bull turns around and starts running backwards?
So there is always a group of people that with red pañuelos.
Everybody has red.
Yes, I'll talk about it in a second. But they try to redirect them with colorful things back to the direction that they have to go because it has happened.
Oh, okay.
Like they get lost and they're like, "Wait, where am I supposed to go?" For bulls.
Where am I supposed to go?
Yes, so they redirect them.
Okay.
Yeah. Hey.
How is this a fun event? How is this? I mean, it's funny to watch it happen to people. Don't get me wrong. I've enjoyed.
People.
I have laughed numerous times. Just like, okay, y'all crazy, and you deserve it. But how does this become an event? Who say that this should be a thing? We should run with bulls because right now, what it looks like to me is like Black Friday. That's all I'm seeing right now. How we all.
But instead of going to shop for things, they're just running away
choosing
for their
a bull.
lives.
Like we stampede over people all the time on Black Friday. Like, but we have a goal. We're going to go get something. We don't say to
You
ourselves,
have a goal here too.
No, there's no
Stay
goal.
alive.
We don't say, you know what? I want to run, but I don't just want to run by myself. You know what? Let's run with some bulls. Let's bring bulls into this.
And people from everywhere.
These are people from everywhere, right?
Yes.
So you guys get dressed up.
Yes.
And decide to run with bulls. Like, is there a certain number of bulls that's always running with you, or is it like?
I'm sure there's a specific number. I'm not sure exactly what.
Okay, so
I don't know the number.
Okay, so why would you start doing this?
Okay, so everything or almost everything in Spain has a religious beginning, right? So San Fermin.
I was going to say a violent beginning, but go ahead.
San Fermin, it was a saint, okay? So it all started with him. So we're celebrating San Fermin, a saint.
So a saint.
Wait.
A saint.
And they were celebrating also the ganaderia, which is, like the flocks, like the sheep and the cows and when you have a good year, so you're celebrating.
Farming lots.
So, yeah. And back in the days, the way that they will take the bulls to anywhere was to walk them through the streets. So this was kind of a behavior that has been evolving. Back in the Middle Ages is when there is some recollection that it started happening. Moving forward to 20th century, when Hemingway wrote the book Fiesta, which I don't know what's the name in English, but that's where Sanfermines became a worldwide known event.
This will become a worldwide known event no matter who wrote about it. It could have been in newspapers, especially back in that time. Hey, we run with bulls. Like, we as Americans, we would say that if we're trying to be like strong or whatever, but you guys just doing it for, I don't even know if this is a sport. I don't know if this is like, I know nothing about this. I just know how crazy it looks.
Imagine early 1900s and you live in the US and let's say that you're, I don't know, a farmer or something like that and you hear or read about...
Early 1900s, I would be a farmer.
Yeah, a cotton picker.
Yeah, exactly. Go ahead, continue. I'm glad that's funny to you, but continue, please.
I love you, baby. And then you realize that these things happening in the other side of the world. That's kind of crazy. And it's not like they have black people running in front of the bulls as a punishment or anything.
The bulls wouldn't catch us.
That's why.
It wouldn't be no fun.
So yeah, that's where kind of a start and then evolve into what is today.
So
Now,
if it was just a celebration back
Yes.
then of the flock, your farming, whatever it is, of good crops and all
Yeah.
that type of stuff. If it was a celebration of that, how does it escalate to this? Like, hey, you know, we had a good year. Everything our bounty is so full. You know, we have all these things. This isn't enough. Who's the person that said, this isn't enough? We need to do more. We need to be more. And by doing that, we run with bulls. Let's be one with the bulls. Let them put their horns inside us and we become one.
I don't know who's the person that said, let's do this. I don't think that there is like an official person that said, you know,
Oh,
this
there
is
is
a great
somebody.
idea.
There is somebody. I'm sure our viewers will know who that somebody is. They will tell me.
But-
'Cause I need to know why.
The whole thing is that this becomes popular and now people come from every part of the world to do this, right? And it happens every July 7th is the first encierro and all the other events, and that ends on July 14th. It doesn't matter what day of the week it falls on, it's every year from the 7th to the 14th.
So the 7th to 14th. So you have all these other things that go on with this event. So like, so then you just run with the bulls on the first day and then you have
No, every single day. We have running of the bulls every single day for the 7 days.
7 days?
Yes. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 8 días. 8 mañanas.
Let me get this straight. So it's not that you just have this event where you run with the bulls and already, as an American, looking at how crazy you are just for doing this. Now you're telling me you do it for 7 days straight.
Yes.
So 7 days, you couldn't just do it one day. You said, you know what? We have to continue to up the ante. Let's do it 7 days.
Yes.
Why 7 days?
I'm sure there is a reason why. Maybe it has to do with the religious part of like the world was created in 7 days, so the festival has to last 7 days, and if you survive, then you're the chosen one. I don't know. I'm just making that up. Now, the funny thing that I actually found out recently, because again, my mother had been going to the Sanfermines all her life, right? Mm-hmm. And I just found out that women were allowed to run for the first time in 1974, which it was yesterday.
1974. So you haven't run with the bulls since when?
The Middle Ages.
And women got to start running in 1974.
Yes.
How many women participate in this throughout the year now?
I don't know, but you see a few. Not majority or not even half or anything like that.
Right.
You mostly see guys, men, but there are women. And now they're allowed to run, so yoo-hoo for us.
I don't know if I should be celebrating that one. I wouldn't count that as a victory.
Because I have had these conversations with other Americans, and they're like, yeah, that's so dangerous, and that's a festival that shouldn't be allowed, and this and this and that. Remember, this is tradition that happens from the Middle Ages, right? And I think tradition needs to be celebrated. However, you have to understand that you cannot come to Spain, drink your life away, and then waking up at 7 o'clock in the morning to run in front of the bulls at 8 o'clock for 2 minutes because your reflexes are not there. However, I'm not diminishing this number, but 16 people have been recorded dead since the festival started, or since there is recollection of data of the festival.
And yeah, I think you should still have this event. I'm just trying to understand. Yeah, I think you should still have this event, right?
Let's.
Continue, please.
You
Let me
watch
see.
it.
Oh, that's a brave guy. Is he trying to get on top of it?
It seems like, right? Some people like to touch the bulls. I never understood that.
Don't you have a saying about touching the bull's balls or something like that? Question. So, okay, so there's people that run with this these days. Is there anybody that tries to do it all 7 days, or do you just are you only allowed to do it one day? Or?
I have no idea. You're asking, I have never run. I don't know what are the basis of.
All right, so y'all gonna have to fill me in because I want to know if there's been a 7 day survivor, like one of the guys that want to go through the gauntlet, like I'm gonna do it 7 days straight. Because if this was in the U.S., you would have those people that be like, I'm gonna do it 7 days in a row
and create a record.
Yeah,
and have a sponsor.
Yeah, this is gonna be a Guinness record at this point. We will make it that event kind of thing, and then probably it'll be sponsored by like Red Bull or something like that.
Red Bull te da alas. Oh wait, that's not what it says in English,
No,
right?
what is that Tiralas? Is that?
It gives you wings.
Yeah, that's what we say in English.
I know, but it doesn't say
No, it doesn't.
tributadas.
It doesn't say that. It says Red Bull. It gives you wings. I mean, in this
But it doesn't
event,
have a ring to
in
it.
this event, they probably say it gives you horns, but that'd be it.
No, actually, wings work because then you el que no corre vuela. Remember that saying that I taught you?
You
El
fly.
que no corre.
If you don't run, the man that doesn't run flies.
Yes. Tributadas.
That would make sense. That would make sense with this.
No, remember.
Yes, that is the perfect
No.
phrase for this because if you don't run, then the bull will lift your ass off.
Fly.
And you fly.
Now remember the meaning is that somebody that you don't expect it and they just take the opportunity of something and
that's boring.
Okay.
Muy aburrido. This is much better. Much better. That's where the saying should go. I'm changing the saying to go with this one right
this is
here.
where it comes from. No?
Yes, because that's perfect. If you don't run, you fly. No? This is just like a short run, real quick, 3 minutes. I know. So,
Ay.
do you have like a medical staff on the side?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
'cause I'm
Like
like-
people get treated right away. If something happens, a team comes and like treat you right away.
Okay, that's good. Then I can't complain about that because right now I know the bulls knock people down, but to me it looks like people do more damage than the bulls because you're running over somebody that's probably fall. Like if you fall, I know they tell you probably got to cover up or whatever and just stay there.
Yeah, there are steps, and they give you the steps of what to
Oh
do.
no, you
in
gonna get
case
the
of
steps. You gonna get the steps.
the steps on you.
Where are they going right now?
You're going to the big bullfight arena.
And they just keep going, or do they stay there, or do they just go like?
They torean the bulls around, but the idea is that they come out because then those bulls, and this is the part that really hurts me, okay? Because I'm an animalist. Does that word exist in English?
Yeah, animal level. Yeah.
Soy una animalista. And I don't like bullfighting. I know that is part of my, country's tradition and everything, but I'm not okay with how we damage the bulls and how we hurt the bulls.
So this, get it, but they're running with the bulls. So I mean, like that's it. Like after that, they just go off to somewhere, and what happens here?
No. Later on in the day, there's a bullfighting, and the bulls die.
Wait, all the bulls that ran die?
Yes.
All right, that's kind of messed up. So you telling me this event should be categorized differently? Because if that's the case, then you got to give the bull a little bit more of a warning. Like, hey, listen, this is your last day, so you need to try to take out as many of us as you can before you go.
They will run differently.
They would run differently. They would have some incentive then, like, nah, you know what? I'm turning around. I'm going backwards to get who I miss. Like, let me run back and forth up here a couple of times because if this is the end, then so be it.
Yeah, it's like a death row run if you think about it.
Yeah, it kind of is.
Yeah.
That's really bad.
Yeah.
I didn't know that I thought like they get like a special treatment. I thought these were like special bulls that get to
They are special bulls. They are raised to do this. So one might argue that without this kind of events, those bulls wouldn't exist because nobody will raise them because there is no point, there is no purpose to their lives, right? But it's really sad. I'm part of the group of people that is against bullfighting, and if there was a way of having them without hurting the animal, I would say let's continue with the tradition. But it's a very sensitive topic because there is an animal life in place being hurt. But then there is the weight of the tradition and what we have done for years and what identifies us as a country.
When we think of Spain as an American, we think bullfighting, flamenco, paella.
Yes.
I can't think of anything else off the top of my head that would come.
Laziness.
Well, okay, you can start with that. But for the most part, like just the imagery of what we can expect to see, like what we think of Spain, like those are the things that stand out the most to us. So when we go there, we think we're going to see a bullfight everywhere we go, or we're going to see somebody dancing flamenco everywhere we go. Obviously, that's not the case. Now, as an animal lover, no, I don't agree with like torturing an animal or anything like that. But
you haven't seen a bullfighting.
No, I haven't.
So you have no idea what the bull goes through.
No, I just figure like it's a couple of dance moves here, and then that's it. Like you dodge the animal a couple of times, and then that means you win.
No.
So what happens? What's supposed to happen?
So there's a lot of things.
So all these bulls go into a bullfight afterwards?
Yeah, they go to a bullfight, and famous bullfighters go to this festival to the Sanfermines, and they, present a show. There is a person, I don't know the names in English, but there is a person that goes in a horse and stabs the bull throughout the performance, so they can get weaker. Yes, as you said, they torear, right?
So you
Back
mean it's
and
two
forth.
people, or is this one person?
Usually it's one, but then there are points that other toreros come in place. But then there is this other person that comes with a pincho and stabs the bull in the thingy.
So
And then at the end, throughout, yes. And then at the end of the bull fighting is when the torero goes and put the sword inside of the bull and kill them.
That's bad.
Yeah, it's a little bit.
But what is the point of the show? Like, if the show is just to torture the animal, or is the point like to
and
have
that's
fun?
the point. That's exactly where we are right now with the conversation. It's the point to torture the animal, and do we get happy by seeing an animal being tortured?
Oh no, that's a bad image to have.
It's an art, it's a tradition,
that part there
but it's also torturing an animal.
That part doesn't get to us in the U.S. That
No.
part of the thing, we just see this. That's all we see.
I think that's all that there should be, but
No,
anyway.
because to me that's very cowardly. Because I look at the hunters like in the U.S. like we have these guys that are like just like, oh yeah, I hunted this deer, I tracked it down, and then I waited for it, I sat in my spot, and then I shot it. I'm like, that's not really hunting. Like you got a gun, the thing is like 50 yards away, doesn't see you or anything like that. That's not. I can't sit there and say I'm a man doing something like that, like I, did anything like that, especially back in the days. People hunted with spears or bow and arrows and stuff like that, and you sitting here, parked
Having
up,
a beer.
have a tent that's camouflaged in your little warm area with your beer and everything, sitting there with a gun, then you see it and you shoot it, and be like, oh yeah, I tracked this down on the hunt. Nah, son.
There's not advantage for the animal whatsoever.
It's not a fair fight.
It's not a fair fight.
What is it? What is that? We have. I don't know if you have that saying. To grab the bull by the horns. Do you have that?
A coger el toro por los cuernos. Yeah.
But is
to
that
face something?
Yeah, is that like a saying?
Yes.
Like that's what I mean. Then that would be it. Do your dance, and then wrestle the bull. Like that would be
with your bare hands.
With your bare hands, like you gotta
without
tackle
weakening or anything.
Like that's
see
it.
Who wins for real?
Because I thought you guys do the like rodeo thing as well. Like we get on top of like a bull.
No, we don't know. Not in the Sanfermines.
No.
Not in the
I'm just saying like that should be part. Like you should be like tiring out the bull like until it gives up. Like that would be the wrestle. After that, fine, take him down, kill him, go eat him, enjoy. But
I think that my problem is that the bull suffers, right? Because it's being tortured throughout the time that it's being throughout the bullfighting. So that's my whole thing. Because then later, obviously, we like take advantage of every piece.
Like, I feel like the tradition is awesome. Well, running with them is not my thing. So let me. I think having a tradition is awesome. I think you guys do that. I like seeing the dancing part of the bulls. I didn't know about the stabby part. That stabby part, not really a fan of. But I think I know it's hard because you guys have these traditions. And for the most part, this is the first time I've really come across a tradition that seems kind of sad in the end.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, I enjoy eating the bull and everything, but
oxtail.
Right, of course, oxtail is delicious. Delicious. They love the fact that you guys have traditions and holidays that are happy. Like all our holidays in the U.S. is always about somebody dying or something bad happening. That's how we make holidays.
And we have a lot of festivals that celebrate a lot of things, right? So besides the encierros and the corridas, with the bulls and everything, there is more to this festival. So there is like parties throughout the day. Pamplona is turned into a like whole festival with food stalls. I never know how to say this word.
Food stalls?
Stalls.
Okay.
Food stalls, and then you have, dancing in the streets, like the traditional dancers. And one of my favorites is to see the gigantes y cabezones, which is like, I believe it's 5 people. Each represents one continent, and it's this huge, like giants costumes with huge heads, and they just walk around the city and everything.
Is like people inside of it, or they like carry?
Yeah, of course there's people inside.
I didn't know if they like carry these things like they're floats or something.
Yeah, no. And then there is procesiones, because still it's a religious event, part. So that happens. And then the idea is that you all wear white, and then you have red how do you call?
Scarf?
It's not a handkerchief. Yeah, like a scarf.
Scarf, handkerchief, yeah.
But then also the right here, a faja. How do you call faja in English?
Waistband? Or,
Yeah, a
okay.
waistband that is supposed to be red as well.
I know we have horrible crap in the U.S., but this kind of thing, to me, this is just missing the right marketing at this point. Like I'm
Oh, believe me, there's a lot of money that is made here.
I'm sure.
If you don't want to run in front of the bulls, but you still want to see it like firsthand, you know, all because it goes through the city, right? And it's the same street every single day, every single year. It's under 1 kilometer, it's 800 meters run, so it's really nothing. And all these balconies of the apartments, they all rent. So let's say that you live in one of those apartments, you can rent your balcony, and you rent it for anywhere between 100 to 300 euros, depending on what part of the
A day?
run is. Not only a day, baby. This is only for the running. So remember, the runs is only like
2 minutes.
under 3 minutes.
So you can rent it for the 3 minutes for people to come up there and look? Oh, I know where we're buying a property at now.
So usually you rent it and you offer like breakfast, like Spanish breakfast, right? So like a coffee or orange juice or like a magdalena or like whatever pastries are from Pamplona. So it's like, what are you going to spend on that?
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And usually in those balconies you can fit, I don't know, it depends on the size, but they are like the standard Spanish balconies,
Right.
like the small ones from the old buildings. So like 3 people, 4 people, top 6 people.
You have a visitor.
I have my little bull here. Oh, my little bull. My black cat. We won't take you to Pamplona, don't worry. We don't want you to get
Have
confused.
them run with the bulls.
Imagine. Go.
At this point, I'm expecting the bulls to kind of like have like logos on them now. Like we're gonna print Mercedes, like F1, like all the logos are in NASCAR. That would probably be us in NASCAR.
What is this, Formula 1 now?
Yeah, NASCAR Formula 1. We put all the logos and everything on the bulls, and that way they run across. You see
Let's torture the bulls a little bit more.
Listen, I'm telling you, in the U.S., this would be an event.
I
This would be by Monster Energy or Red Bull or something.
I mean, we have our patrocinios, our partners in this festival and in every festival. Anywho, explain it to me. All right, so I know that we're dedicating a whole video to bullfighting after making a video about the stereotype of us having bulls outside in the street every single day.
This is why, like I said, this is why you guys have it. Because it's such a crazy event. I thought this was just a one-time or one-day thing that you run.
7 days.
And now I find out you do it for 7 days? 7 days?
8 days.
8 days of running with bulls? Like who?
Anywho,
Continue,
but we
please.
do have more festivals that might seem dangerous to you guys, but they're not dangerous. Example, Las Fallas. One of my favorite festivals that we have in Spain.
Oh, that's where you set fire to everything, right?
Yes, so I lived in Valencia for 3-4 years and I got to understand Las Fallas and the sentiment and everything, and we definitely will have to go to those more than once because once you experience your first one, you're gonna fall in love with it. But anyway, Las Fallas can look dangerous to Americans. Then now in August,
it is dangerous.
it is not dangerous.
Y'all set fire. Y'all started an inferno.
It's a controlled fire. People know what they're doing. There is a
Quick question.
symbolic meaning into
Quick question.
it.
If I go and search something about mishaps in Las Fallas, would I find things of burning that shouldn't have burned? Would I find any incidents?
Do you want me to answer
Nah,
as your wife or as a political
I want you to
correct one?
answer as a person that just heard a question.
Okay, I'm going to answer as a Spaniard. There are less mishaps and accidents that can happen on a daily basis in the U.S. with the mass shootings.
I didn't ask you that, and we don't need it. We're talking about the U.S. right now. Now, are there incidents?
No.
What is, so then it is dangerous.
No, it's just maybe yes, things happen, but it's not usual.
Is San Fermin dangerous?
Why are you twitching in your eye?
I want to hear what you say. I want to see a perspective of danger.
I mean, if you see it from the
It's not an
perspective
if.
that only
This is
16
not
people
an
have
if
died in all
question.
these years,
This is not an if question. It's not an if. It's just a yes or no.
it could be seen as
It
dangerous,
could be seen.
but it's a controlled danger.
So it is dangerous.